Level up, level up, level up. Better come correct if you gon' step in this house. Those are the bars. Those are the only bars. I don't know, Gani Bang, Gani Shan. That's the only thing you will ever hear from me. Because when it comes to rapping, this is Level Up. I'm Sangatembo. In the house is Ludo.
Those bars are still fresher than a lot of rappers, so.
Really? So much comfort. So much comfort. So, before I came in, my producer sent me a couple of instructions to do with you. Because he was like, that's my girl, don't mess up. I was like, dude, you never do this with other MCs. Why instructions for her? Why is she the special case here? But anyway, I had to go with it. So, I'm going to read those out.
Because clearly I see you're not wearing a bulletproof vest. So you feel safe around me.
Man, dude.
This is not a safe place.
It was a grilling morning. So he sent me all this. No, like a short bio, like I don't know you already. Ludo is a rapper and poet. She can sing too. She's from Bittersweet. She's a copywriter, a feminist. She's pretty strong. And, you know, she's an advocate of the Men Are Trash movement. And, yeah, she's against rape. She has a poetry album. She's currently studying
I don't
marketing.
think he wanted you to do it in this voice, but okay.
Okay, it's not me being sarcastic. It's just me, like, being sarcastic towards him and what he did. Yeah, my producer is a crazy person. Forgive me.
We have a very
him.
special love-hate relationship.
With him, right?
I think he doesn't want us to fight again. We've fought and made up a few times. I'll add you back on Facebook, say.
So anywho, if you don't know who we're talking about, it's Abel Black. He produces this show. Mentioning all of that, does that make you feel heavy or weird when someone is about to ask for money? Because this looks like a person who works.
It doesn't make me feel weird because it's what I'm about. There's a whole lot of other things to me. But I guess there's certain things that people specifically would associate me with, which is speaking about a lot of things for women's movements, which I do. A lot of are tied into experiences I've had and experiences people have had around me. Poetry, because that's what I've pushed a whole lot more than the music. So there are those who know that side of me a whole lot more. And yeah, I even feel like, you know, there are other things added there, but it's that thing where when you meet creative people, most of them have so many artistic things about them. You know, they just have an artistic eye for a lot of things, and we kind of like jump into everything before we figure out our footing. So
wow.
Yeah.
I mentioned the poetry album in there. Is it just strictly poems or songs? I'm guilty of not buying that album, by the way, because last we met.
Oh, you didn't? I thought you said you're going to buy it on Investor Sani. No?
Fam.
I remember this.
The minute
I
you
can
and
have
I
screenshots.
we met at our Critics album launch or listening party, if we can put it like that. You said, yo, I have this album. I didn't have money, so I'm guilty of not doing that, but I will make it up to you.
I have albums with me, you know.
Okay.
Just put it out there.
Let's do it after this.
I take Zona. Mobile money.
So since then, I don't know. I haven't really seen you promote that album. What's been happening with that?
So basically, what happened with that album was I just said, go. Like, I needed to get it out of the way.
Okay.
For lack of a better term. I was going through so much in that time frame that I knew that by the time I get out of that headspace, that art would no longer feel relevant to where I'm at, you know, as an artist. It wouldn't feel, there's a lot of things there about like sexual abuse. There were a lot of those discussions that I wanted to get away from me because I'd held on to them for so long. And I realized one thing, which is before, a lot of my art started sounding like I was speaking for people but never for myself, you know? So I was like, let's go back to doing nothing and bleeding gracefully, you know? And that's why I came out and said certain things that I did say on social media. I came out and said, okay, this project needs to go because it felt heavy. And releasing it was more of I need this to go away from me. You know, like my art was very personal at that moment, and I was like, I need to release this. Whoever's going to hear it will hear it. I'll continue to market it now that, you know, I am in a better space. But at that point, I couldn't think of coming out of healing and coming back to saying, so let's start pushing this art. You know, that didn't make sense to me. I felt like I'd take myself some steps back.
It was extremely sensitive for you, hey?
Yep.
You've talked about releasing a lot of energy, you know, at that time. And I won't really go into it, but there was a lot that you did at that time that's probably connected with what's happening now with the tragic death of Uinene from SA. You know, that murder and rape sparked the name and shame movement that happened, and it kind of like, you know, spilled over. But clearly you were the first to do something like that. Were there any negative implications, so to speak, from the so-called gatekeepers in media?
So initially, I think first of all, when I shared the story that I did share, right, I think people first of all didn't know my agenda, and they felt like it was an attack at a person, okay, which it wasn't. It was me addressing our systems, and our systems are built to protect those in power. You know, powerful people are put in places where they can manipulate and hurt people, and one place you should feel safe is the church, okay. And the God I serve, because I had people reaching out to me like, I hope God doesn't give you a whiplash for what you're sharing. I said, excuse you, honey. Like, I actually pray every day. So me and God are good. We actually have had this discussion before you. And they're like, you can't speak this way about someone who's helped me. Look, I can't take away from your experience with someone. So I'll tell you, that's beautiful that that person helped your life. Contrary to your experience, I have a bad experience with that person. And I want to speak against this system. When that naming and shaming thing happened, so push forward, most of the people who were calling me personally were just telling me thank you, because now I can speak to people about what happened to me. There was those gatekeepers who were trying to do backlash, but I focused not on it at all. Like, I really didn't give it attention. So next thing you know is now fast forward, I'm actually on a social media break. I wasn't on social media, and I get phone calls, and it's like, yo, have you seen what's happening? Yeah. And I felt that was heavy. Like, it really felt heavy watching all of this energy come there. But I was like, a lot of those stories I knew. Like, the girls had reached out to me back when I shared my story and told me this. Some of those stories I had been around when they happened. So I was like, this is just a reminder of how crazy, you know, the world we're in is. And there's a cry for people to be heard.
That's cool. Do you think the naming and shaming movement loses credibility when the victims remain anonymous? Or maybe people just need to do it for the sake of warning other ladies and men, you know, of future danger?
I wish personally that it never had to come to a point where a victim feels so scared about speaking out that she needs to hide. Okay, so it's been known that there are about 10 out of 10 rape cases, right? All the other 8 will not even bother going to court. 2 will go to court, 1 will be dropped because the family or whatever will say, let's not follow this, and 1 will go to trial, like actually fully, right? Now, if that's the situation that we're having, that felt like a necessary heaviness, okay, because now people are realizing the world we live in, because men felt uncomfortable. We constantly feel uncomfortable. I walk into any room and I'm like, am I going to encounter someone else trying to do some weird stuff to me, you know? So I was like, as much as I didn't like that energy was not as floating in the air, I was like, you people need to be made aware that we are broken, and you can't keep stepping on victims and expecting nobody to finally, like, you know, scream about it or get hurt about it. So yeah, it was a reality we needed to wake up to, I think.
It's a start at least, eh? It's a start. Cool. Is your next album having any of that energy, or are we moving on?
I'm moving on and forward. I feel like I am very ready to start my music fully. I have come full circle in understanding why. I mean, I was listening to Queen Latifah the other day, and I was like, I used to listen to good music, you know, there's UNITY. I grew up listening to Eve, and even just across the board, Mr. Cheeks, all these artists. Yeah. And I asked myself, I said, what are the new kids listening to? I was like, they don't have substance. And then I was just like, yeah, Ludo, what are you doing about it?
We need to get back in the
booth. And I kind of took music as something I can do, but I'm not really here for it. But now I think with the purpose I've attached to it, I am ready to actually like go hard. Before, if I said it, I was just lying. Wow. But now I'm in this.
Probably until you realized you're one of the illest MCs out here.
Thank you.
Speaking of music, how soon is that album coming? Because I'm about to throw you into a pit right now. that I hope
I'm
you
working
can
on
climb out
I'm working
of.
on an EP first.
Uh-huh.
It is very ready. Oh, that's how the hook came out. Okay, so
This is how random this show is. Uh-huh.
it is very ready for. I just really need to pick a date because there's a lot of stuff I was working in that behind the scenes when I was in hiding that people haven't seen. So yeah, that EP is out so that I can show people more diversely what I can do with my music, and then we can start thinking of an album next year.
Do you have a name for
EP
it?
This year, it's called Mvini Ona Ona,
Okay.
which means the true vibe.
Okay. Nice. It sounds like a mixture of poetry and all the good stuff. When is it coming before we jump straight into the
Expect
freestyle?
that one in December. If I'm nice, it'll drop before.
Okay, cool.
But yeah.
Thank you. It's now time for that randomness I was talking about. Are you ready?
What beat are we working with?
Am I supposed to tell you that?
But you're almost
MCs
playing
are-
it. You're almost playing it. So it's not like I'm gonna start writing lyrics
Bars.
right now. Just show me the things.
Okay, if we anyway, let's do this. Oh yeah, it's open.
Give me a beat for a real rapper.
Wow, she just saw that beat belongs to Jay. Jay is not a real rapper.
Yeah, I have no love for Jay-Z, eh?
Okay, kill this.
Oh, I have respect for Jay-Z because I'm like, if you've convinced this much people to like you, there must be something about you. But I still haven't seen it.
Okay, kill this beat and then we'll praise.
I hope I do.
There we go. Drop
If I
something.
don't, we'll blame it on Jay-Z. His
Yeah.
spirit must have infected me. Let's go.
Excuses,
We got
fam.
this.
There we go. Need some help?
Okay. Yo. Yeah. Said it's Ludo. Yeah, I'm gonna ride on this beat. Okay. I started to edit. Just don't need to talk now.
That's the sample. There's no lyrics on that.
Okay, those sounds are messing with me. Maybe because it's in my ears.
Okay.
Okay, cool. It's okay. I'll go.
That okay?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, it's Ludo. I'm gonna ride on this beat. Even if it's by Jay-Z and dude is so weak. It's Ludo, so you know I bring that heat and everybody know. Say you better bump to it. I said it's L-U-D to the O. That chick who taught all these rivers how to flow. That girl that's gonna teach the sun how to glow. And if you don't know, when I see this beat I start to go. Said, yeah, I heard there is a show. So I step on the stage like, yeah, I'm ready to roll. I'm chilling right here next to Sanga Tembo. And if you wanna know who the illest, yeah, it's Ludo. You see these girls, they wanna test me, they wanna flex, but you see, it's gonna show. See who the best, and when I'm here, you're gonna know. See who I rep, because G-O-D is the one who gives me this glow. So you can't touch him. Say no, you can't. So I'm gonna keep going. So you hear this rant, and if you wanna say you better have a plan. Cause when I step up on the scene, you're gonna know that you've been scammed to believing that all these other chicks be glowing. Everybody no, you didn't. Now you know it, that it's Miss Fresh, and yes, you know, said I do this to the death, yeah.
Oh, bars. Bars, son. Man, wow. You just killed Jay-Z. You just killed, and the beat is named Kill Jay-Z.
Guys, please don't harass me for eating on Jay-Z. I just don't like him, okay? It's okay.
It's okay. we all entitled to our own opinions. Ludo, ladies and gentlemen, this is Level Up. Any last words?
Don't do drugs, stay in school, look both sides before crossing the road, and Jesus saves.
Subscribe to the Zambezi Juice YouTube page. Pow.